Today we answer an ancient question: fallen angels or aliens?
On the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they choose.
In Genesis 6 and everywhere else, these are angelic beings.
Because it's in the Old Testament, and one of my beefs is Christians don't know their Bibles. 2/3 of it's the Old Testament.
It's a controversial topic, to say the least. There's a lot of different theories.
I believe that the sons of God were the line of Seth.
This is a myth. This never happened, Larry. This is not a historical reporting.
According to Jesus, angels are not made to mate.
The sons of God interest there has always remained a mystery to me.
God put them in the slammer, and they ain't getting out.
You know, you can call them angels, you can call them demons.
They weren't really angel, they weren't really human, but they are immortal.
Watchers created these giants, and they also created abominations, which I'll explain in a bit. The giants the Watchers made are known as the Nephilim. I want to particularly focus on the giants briefly. These Nephilim giants were terrorizing humans, consuming all of humans' livestock, and they were doing even more dark things that can't be said on YouTube or TikTok. One of the most renowned Nephilim giants is Goliath from the biblical story of David and Goliath. The women who mated with the fallen angels and birthed the giants were turned into what the book of Enoch calls
Strange Bible Facts. Anak, the tribe of giants. Welcome back to Strange Bible Facts, where we uncover the strange and intriguing mysteries of the Bible. Have you watched the movie titled Jack the Giant Slayer? Today, we're exploring the enigmatic giant tribe of Anak, known for their extraordinary height and strength. According to Numbers 13:33, the Anakites were descendants of the Nephilim, the giants mentioned in Genesis 6 verse 4. This lineage of giants struck fear into the hearts of many, including the Israelite spies who described them as very tall. Geez. The Anakites inhabited the region of Canaan, which God promised to the Israelites. Despite this promise, the Israelites were intimidated by the Anakites' stature and doubted their ability to conquer the land. However, Caleb and Joshua stood firm in their faith, believing that God would give them victory over the Anakites. In Joshua 14 verse 12, Caleb, at the age of 85, boldly declares, "I will drive them out, just as the Lord said." So there you have it. The sons of Anak were indeed descendants of the Nephilim.
strange water experiments you can do with frequencies, and
wow.
you can
Look at that. So the electricity running into the water makes it do that spiral?
It's sound, really. It's not even electricity.
Oh, it's sound.
Vibration.
The spout is connected to a speaker. The speaker is being controlled by an oscillation thing.
But if you do all the hertz, you can see it.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
This is just one experiment for this. There's a lot of other really, really cool ones.
So if you change the frequency, the patterns change.
This is some weird shit.
So the ultrasonic waves are causing these objects to levitate. So they're levitating in the ultrasonic waves.
Is that ice?
I don't even think it says exactly what they're floating there. It's probably just a piece of maybe like rice or a piece of paper or something.
Holy shit.
But people speculate this is maybe how the pyramids might have been made because of the frequencies that people think they make or could have made.
That was something
Hancock
that
stuff and
Eddie Griffin said outside the... Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza is probably the most stunning of all these ancient structures. And the stones are immense, and some of them were cut from a quarry that's hundreds of miles away. How do you think they did that?
We're looking at technologies that are not the same as ours.
Yes.
And that's partly why archaeologists can't see them, because they're looking for us in the past, and they're not open to the possibility that there are whole other kinds of technology that could be used.
Right.
I always go back to the ancient Egyptian traditions that speak of priests chanting as these huge blocks were lifted into the air. Were they using some kind of sound effect, some kind of use of sound that was able to manipulate matter? We know that sound can manipulate matter, as a matter of fact, but they're lifting these blocks, and again and again it appears in ancient Egyptian traditions. The notion that we could lift huge blocks with sound seems absurd to archaeologists, and yet it's there.
Now,
How were the pyramids built? The pyramids of Egypt are one of the greatest engineering achievements of ancient rollers, and levers.
It's always been such a strange image, the large heads with the helmets on them, and how do they
Have you been to Egypt?
No, I haven't been there yet.
Dude, I climbed to the center of the Great Pyramid.
Yeah?
Wild energy in there.
Oh, can I imagine?
And vibrating, like...
Really? Like
weird.
you feel it?
Yeah.
Or is it just like...
No, you feel it.
You
can
freaking
almost,
out because you're there?
No, you can almost hear it.
Really?
It's like this weird energy in there, yeah. It doesn't feel like it doesn't put off like a bad vibe or anything. It just feels like electric in there. It's like, what is this, a fucking power station? And they say it's a tomb.
Yeah, but that's not real.
That can't be real.
I don't think that's real.
They wouldn't spend that much fucking time and manpower.
I mean, maybe they would if the king was that much of a baller, but I just don't think that it makes sense. First of all, I don't believe they've ever found like a dead pharaoh inside of one of those things.
No.
Yeah, people would have ceremonies, like rich people's houses, and they would unwrap mummies in front of their guests. Yeah, it was like an English thing, right?
Sounds like an Illuminati thing.
Here's my theory on fallen angels. But first, it's important to understand that every time a good angel came down to earth, a human would usually try to worship it. For example, then I fell down at his feet to worship him, but he said to me, "You must not do that. I am a fellow servant with you and your brothers who hold to the testimony of Jesus. Worship God." So the angel's saying, don't worship me, worship God. But we know that Satan is evil and everything that he plans to do is wicked. So obviously, he would love to be worshipped. So in ancient times, I believe that the fallen angels came into the form of pagan gods, like Zeus and Hercules, and thousands of other pagan gods that people worship. By the way, this pagan worship usually led to human and child sacrifices. I think this is why we see so many weird rituals from thousands of years ago, because people really devoted their entire lives to demons/fallen angels.
She talks about the Paiute people for years and years were at war with the giant people, and these giant people lived in the mountains in Nevada, and they had long red hair, and they're cannibals. And so the Paiutes, like, they would come and kill the Paiutes and then bring them up to the mountains and eat them. And so they're at constant war with these giant people, the Paiute people. Yeah. They started winning, and it was brought down to like 45 remaining giants or whatever, who the Paiute people chased into a cave, and the Paiute people put brush and stuff at the cave entrance and lit it on fire. And this cave where they found these giant skeletons had just scorch marks all over the entrance of the cave. And so they killed the giants. What they still have remaining in the museum are like giant clothes. Okay. And a shoe that the shoe was 15 inches long, which would fit a size 29 foot. And in this book, she
imagine having. This is the only real giant witnessed by humans. During the height of the Operation Enduring Freedom in 2002, an unusual incident occurred. A rescue crew was dispatched to investigate the vanishing of a group of troops. The squad discovered the cave with army equipment spread about, but no evidence of the missing troops. That's when they came upon the Kandahar Giant. The Kandahar Giant was 13 feet tall, with blazing red hair, 6 fingers, and 2 sets of fangs. It even murdered one of the Special Forces guys with a spear before being taken down by the remainder of the team with 30 seconds of relentless firing. After they radioed it in, the army took the corpse and has kept it buried ever since. The soldiers were ordered to sign non-disclosure agreements in order for the government to keep everyone silent. However, the troops ultimately broke their silence because, as one of the guys subsequently stated, people have a right to know the truth.
1/3 of Jesus' ministry consisted of casting out demons. So one burning question I have for you is, where did those demons even come from? Well, the oldest Bible in the world is in Ethiopia, and it actually contains the Book of Enoch, which was excluded from most Bibles. This is quite unfortunate, because this is where you would find the origins of evil spirits. The Book of Enoch explains how once upon a time these towering giants used to roam the earth. These giants are what the Bible calls Nephilim in Genesis 6:4. They were actually the children of fallen angels, making them violent and completely driven by pure desire. The story goes that after a giant would die, their spirit would be bound to earth. There would be no such thing as heaven for a giant. Their evil, disembodied spirits would now wander the earth. You see, these giants today have the new names of lust, anger, and anxiety. They are ultimately what humanity would call demons.
If
if you want to
get saved by the blood of Jesus Christ, one sin can send you to hell. 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4 is the gospel. Genesis 6:4, there were giants in the earth in those days. And we know that they continued in Deuteronomy 2:11, which also are accounted giants as the Anakims. So we know that there's giants. And we know Noah's flood came to kill the giants. There were only eight people that did not have corruptible DNA or seed. So Jesus started over. What about devils in the Bible? Or demons, as we call them today. As we can see here, but some of them said he cast out devils through Beelzebub, the chief of the devils. And so we know that Jesus casted out devils during his time. And are the demons or devils, when the giants died, the Nephilim died in the flood, their body perished, but their spirits remained. Let me know if you want a video. Leave your comments below on any of these subjects that might interest you. Giants, Nephilim, devils, or any kind of spirits. And I can do a video for the channel. God bless.
Not appointed wives for you. For as for the spiritual ones of the heaven, in heaven is their dwelling. And now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling, but as for the spirits of the earth which were born upon the earth, on the earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle and work destruction on the earth and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against.
You see, in their last moments, people show you who they really are. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
2 o'clock in the morning, and my brother and I were walking along a highway, and there was a couple items right alongside the road, just laying there. One of them was it was a really little camera, and my little brother picked it up, and he put it in his pocket, and there was a hammer. I picked up a hammer. So we took these items. They were just laying there, like in the side of the highway, you know. About 20 years ago, my brother and I, we used to put a sign out that said, Jesus is coming. So in this dream here, there was a bus that was parked at that same location where I had that sign. And they were cattle shooting people into a bus. It was like a Greyhound bus or something. Everyone was being forced. It was all full of Christians. There was a guy about 40, and he said, "Why am I here? I didn't do nothing wrong." There was some kind of a setup. The people that were doing this, that were rounding the people, it was like a military police, like UN. It was weird. They were in a uniform I never saw before, like all black or something. It was...
Is this girl Did this girl just take the mark of the beast? Watch this.
I put a microchip in my arm, and it's the best thing ever. This chip is a powerhouse. It's got everything I need. A credit card, my ID, my medical info, and even my keys. And when it's time for groceries, you just tap your wrist and bam! Transaction done. It's like magic. In a medical emergency, it can save my life. Experts can easily identify me and my medical history. I feel like a sci-fi character, and I'm loving it. This amazing chip is totally free. That's right, no more digging into your pockets. And the best part, the surgery is quick. They'll give you a cookie afterwards.
Satan has the whole world sitting on the edge of their seats, awaiting the false prophecies that he will use to fool them when the real prophecies of the Bible come to pass. Jews are awaiting the Moshiach and the rebuilding of the temple. The Moshiach might rebuild the temple, but the Antichrist will destroy it all when he takes over and claims to be God. Muslims are awaiting their Mahdi, Muslim Jesus, and the Caliphate. The Antichrist and false prophet of the Bible will be their Mahdi and Muslim Jesus. Deceived Christians are awaiting a rapture that comes first and will be caught with their proverbial pants down. They won't believe it's the Antichrist because it can't be, because they won't be here when that happens. Catholics are awaiting their great monarch and the final glorious pope. The Antichrist and false prophet will be their great monarch and the final glorious pope. Satan is setting up the world for an alien invasion. This will be his answer to the fifth trumpet, when an alien-like creature will torment men for 5 months. Satan has already fooled billions of people with his lies about evolution. Even some professing Christians subscribe to this lie. Everyone who believes these lies will be fooled completely by the Antichrist and false prophet when they appear on the world scene.
And so salvation is of the Lord, the Bible says. If anyone desires wisdom, let him take his place in identification with Jesus Christ. what the world calls foolish, I'm resting my salvation on the cross of Christ, no matter what the world may think of him or of me. We're fools for Christ's sake, willing for the world to look at us as out of our minds, willing to be accounted as the very offscouring of the earth because we've turned to Christ. Are you one of the devil's fools? Or are you willing to be a fool for Christ's sake?